What is up, dudes and dudettes, and all you beautiful people of the interwebs? It is Saturday, so you know what time it is. So it's time to go beyond. Welcome to the United States of Smash with the Smash Podcast. How's it going, people? It's good Saturday, real slow day, but there's just been so much good news going on. The panel's a little bit short today, but the rest of the crew is going to be joining in. But it's the first time we've been just panel only for a while. Let's go ahead and see what everyone's up to. First up, we got the man with no plan, Mr. Operation.
What's up, everybody? Just got finished watching a new episode of My Hero Academia. Got caught in One Piece manga. It's been a good day. Got back some cupping as well, but we came for nerd culture. No video games today.
No video game. Yeah, let's not go back into what happened the last time.
Yeah.
Still trash.
Shut up. But speaking about Hiroaka, dude, can't wait to talk about it later. She's so good. And of course, we got our resident bully here, the Spartan himself, Mr. Neat the Lees.
What's going on, guys? Honored to be here again. And in case you hear a Harley Davidson, which I think one's actually driving by right now, or a police car, I assure you, I'm just next to like a busy road. My window's broken, so I can't close it. And if you hear police cars, there may be a drug deal going on, but I'm not going to really talk about that. Anyways, I can't wait to get into the topics today, so let's do this.
He's lying. He's just selling dope out of his house. That's all.
All the hashish.
Get that side hustle on there.
Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, I got that side hustle going on. And of course, there's me, your boisterous host with the most bloody knuckles. And if y'all could see, we got our new logo up made by our local artist himself, Mr. Soul King. Of course, he's not here to talk about how great he is on what it is, but man, it's phenomenal. Love it. I'm telling you, man, the boy's talented. He just won't say anything about it. He needs to do more. Really does. But let's go ahead and get into this. And Soul actually, or Neth, I actually want to start out with what you posted in the group, because you just put out a video that we're going to be uploading to the channel later, because you are still the man who's not sold on Venom.
Okay, as I said in the video, if you guys haven't checked it out, actually that Venom movie can be good. It probably will be good, I'll be honest. I know I'm a hater. I put that trash emoji every time I see a trailer, but it's all jokes, people. And the reason why I'm kind of hating on it and being unfair, I'll admit I'm being unfair, is because of the Spider-Man fanboy in me, the MCU fanboy in me. I just want Venom in the MCU, and I fear the more successful this movie becomes, the less likely we'll see him in the MCU. And that's my biggest fear of all. And I also don't like the origin change, because I feel like Spider-Man made Venom. How you would say Batman made the Joker, Spider-Man literally made Venom. Taking away those Spider-Man traits just kind of makes the character a different character overall to me. But it's a wait and see. We'll see how the movie turns out.
You definitely have a good point there, but look at it this way. As far as comic movies, we're pretty much adept to them changing the origins at this point. Look at Thanos. His main reason for killing half the universe because his obsession with death, want to please her, want to court her.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that, but the thing is, what the MCU does so well, that was perfect that you brought up Thanos, was because they take the character and yes, they change him around, but they keep the core essence the same. Where like Thanos, yes, he's not obsessed with Lady Death, but he's still obsessed with balancing the universe, and he has to do that through the mass slaughter of people. They keep the core essence the same and make him really the mad tyrant. Like, they make him perfect. Like, it's a way you can change up the comic origin, but make him feel like the same character. And I feel with like Venom just not having the Spider-Man, tie into him, like it's going to be just weird to me.
Yeah, I see. Point there.
That's not what you're trying to say. You're saying that because of the fact that this is your Venom right here.
Oh God, what is he going to show me?
Let's see if it'll show up. This.
You're supposed to have it beforehand.
Yeah, I'm trying. But I don't know if it's working, but he wants this Venom right here. This Eddie Brock.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working? All right, well, fuck it. Oh, well. Stupid. I hate the screen share on this thing sometimes, man.
Yeah, sometimes it's just trash.
Please leave that to Neth then, the screen share from now on.
Yeah, just let Neth do all the screen share, because he's the one who continues.
You can just put it in the Twitter group. I'll find it.
Okay. But no, like I think that the change, like we've seen, like the changes how they work, with how we've seen it in the MCU, and I know the fear that you have with the way Sony's doing it because Sony messes up everything because I mean I've talked about this before is that in Spider-Man Homecoming that at the beginning of the movie after they show the Battle of New York we see
8
the Vulture
years.
Vulture doing the cleanup and then stealing the stuff. The time skip they say is 8 years later. And it was confirmed that that was a fuck up on Sony's part because it's only supposed to be a 5-year time skip roughly. But it's just like, come on, how do you mess up a single number on a screen?
I know it's the easiest edit ever.
It's just, oh man, I don't know. But I think that the changes here make sense for what we're gonna see, and stuff like that. It really is, for the better. Because the fact that with the way that they're changing it, taking away Spider-Man's aspect and tied to Venom, we're gonna see more of the other powers that come from, like we saw with the tendrils, and what we really saw some of his powers that come out from the Lethal Protectors miniseries as well as the Planet of the Symbiote series. So we're not going to see all the Spider-Man-esque aspect of Venom. We're actually going to see what makes Venom so unique from Spider-Man. And I think that's what's going to be better because we're still having Eddie Brock, having that reporter aspect. He's trying to do that. He's always been down on his luck. And now he's trying to make things right in what we're seeing here. So I think that we're going to see a little bit more out of that.
Yeah, and you know what? I can agree. Like it could easily work. It could be even better actually than what we've seen. But just like the more successful this movie is, and I think you guys can agree with this, the less likely we could see him in the MCU. That's the scary part to me. Because like to me, Venom is Spider-Man's arch nemesis. It wasn't the Goblin; it was always Venom. And like this is just makes it less and less likely that I'll see that on the big screen.
Understandable. I just think that this Venom is going to be a major antithesis, and not the normal antithesis that we've seen in the past with that connection between both Eddie and the symbiote ties to Peter as Spider-Man. But I think it's still going to be very interesting, and as much as we want it in the MCU, at the same time, we want this movie to succeed because that's only going to add further, attraction to the character beyond the hardcore aspect.
Yeah, and as our one commenter, Justin Maroney,
Hey,
agrees, it's the 90s trash Venom that you're thinking about.
Nah,
Hey, shout out to you, bro. You
calm down there, Justin. But no, like there's just a lot of aspects that can actually do well and help to kind of further push it. We want the movie to succeed, like King David said when we had him here last week for the spoiler cast. So shout out to him. Is that while we're like nuts about what the MCU does, and we want Sony to fail with it, we also want the character to succeed because that only further drives the attention and impact that the character has, and the more people that want to see him make that transition.
Yeah, and overall it's probably a good thing, but damn, it's a Spider-Man MCU fanboy in me, man. Stubborn as hell.
I know. Trust me, I know. But let's go ahead and start off with some of what we got here. And speaking of MCU, the Infinity War juggernaut just does not show any signs of stopping down. And this week is actually the first week that we're seeing it make it over in to China. And the early reports are actually kind of surprising, is that from Thursday's profits alone, it made almost 10 million. And then combined with the early estimates from Friday and Thursday night, that they were estimating about 80 million already. Now they're saying that Saturday and Sunday easily alone can be about a $200 million combined. So we're looking at almost close to 250 to 300 million opening weekend from China, which would make it the biggest launch weekend for the Chinese market. And that's going to push Infinity War almost to 1.5 billion globally. So we're going to see that it really can be one of the first movies to hit that $2 billion mark. What are y'all's thoughts on it? Neth, you want to start it off?
Well, as for the $2 billion mark, I think that's just out of the question. Like, there's no way this movie won't hit $2 billion. It is the juggernaut, mind you. Like, the MCU is our current Star Wars, damn it. Fuck Star Wars Last Jedi, by the way.
Well,
Anyways,
I mean, but I mean, if you think about it, is that MCU is more profitable than Star Wars overall. That is bigger than Star Wars, but Star Wars just has more notoriety, is all.
Absolutely. And you know how like kind of we grew up with Star Wars as a kid. These kids now they're growing up with the MCU. I mean, that's fucking cool to me. But yeah, with that said, 2 billion's out of the question, and it's gonna dominate China. Like I remember the Fast and Furious was like one of the biggest opening in China, and that the pre-orders for that were nothing compared to what Infinity War is seeing now. It's like near double the pre-order, so it's fucking crazy.
I know it is truly something crazy when you think about it, and you're right with Infinity War. It's not a matter of if it's going to hit a $2 billion mark; it's a matter of when. Yeah, and this is going to be something that's completely just out there. It'll be truly in a league of its own. Op, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I'm still salty. I didn't do $1 billion the opening weekend. I'm still salty.
To be fair, Op, the only reason was because of the China delay. I swear
yeah, globally, if it would have been opened in China and at the same time, if it opened up globally, it could have easily topped 1 billion.
It really could have.
So think about it. We're gonna see that next time around, hopefully with Avengers 4, that it's gonna hit 1 billion in a single weekend if they can get it in the Chinese market as well at the same time.
Hell, we can basically prove it because when we take the opening weekend numbers from China coming up and combine with the opening weekend numbers that were out, it probably would be at 1 billion. Yeah, it probably would be at 1 billion.
It's just not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same, but I'm just saying that like proves it probably would have done it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But you're definitely right. It's really a matter of when at this point. Because nothing's really gonna stop this movie. Deadpool's coming out. It's gonna add along to it. It's not gonna really slow down at all.
How crazy was Infinity War's success? Was it like didn't it beat like Justice League in like 8 days or less or something?
That's like being like 8 minutes. What happened?
That's
probably even less than that.
That's wrong. No, he said it probably beat it in like 8 minutes or less than that. That's wrong.
I love the movie, but had to dig at it.
I believe in 8 days it overall beat everything that Justice League did in like the 3 or 4 months it was in the theaters.
Yeah, man, I love DC. Like I just watched that Batman Ninja, which we're gonna talk about later. But my God, you guys need to fix your movie front.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, and I feel really bad about that because I love DC and I was digging kind of what they were doing, but it's just also rushed. But we've gone over that multiple times. But just Infinity War, while with some of the flaws that it does have, it was just an amazing film overall and really a true culmination of everything that we wanted. It was unique in the way that it handled the story, the way that it handled the characters, of everyone's motivation. We've gone into lengths about how we loved
3 hours worth.
Yeah, 3.5 hours worth about how we love the changes to Thanos and everything. But man, it just shows that this thing has no sign of stopping. And we saw how Black Panther dominated the box office for almost 7 weeks. This can easily do that. Even with Deadpool coming out, man, I think it's gonna ride that superhero high just behind it, but it's still gonna succeed. I absolutely do not believe that Deadpool in any way, shape, or form is not gonna do well from all this. But
Fox is gonna be pleasantly surprised with Deadpool too. I'm telling you that right now. But as Justin has been saying in the chat, speaking of juggernauts, we're gonna have to see Josh Brolin and Deadpool so soon. And Justin, I gotta have bad news to break to you. You might already know this, but unfortunately, that little Thanos thing they did in the trailer will be taken out of the movie, unfortunately, at its official release. That whole calm down there, Thanos. Yeah, they're taking out the quit.
It's stop pumping the hate brick, Thanos.
Yeah,
that's stupid on Disney.
Funny. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I think that would have been a perfect little cameo thing. But
it's the fact of that. While we know that Deadpool is very meta, it's the fact of that it would have been like a very double meta within when they bring him over to the
Here come the
MCU.
cops.
Yeah, it's going to be the fact that it's going to be very double meta when he comments on a character who's in their universe that looks like another character in their universe, and it's going to just be a little bit more outlandish than
That shit would have been perfect though, because that fits along with his character.
yeah.
That's the issue.
Well, yeah, well, I agree, and one of that, even Ryan Reynolds kind of understood why they would, because the mass audience would have been a little confused about it.
Yeah,
I think
it-
Ryan
it's-
Reynolds also partly said that because he had to.
I
He
don't
probably
know.
wanted that shit.
true. I can see that happening as well.
I don't know. Ryan Reynolds is a very honest dude, so I mean, if he stated that he agreed with it, he definitely would have agreed with it. But either way, we do know that they are going to remove that, but everything else is still in there. And the fact of now we actually have an idea of kind of what's going on is that the kid we now know as Russell is actually Fire Fist. So it's going to be an interesting take on what they're going to do with Fire Fist in this film. But speaking of Deadpool, they already did an early screening with certain big YouTubers as well as other media outlets that got to see an early preview of it, and everyone has been raving this movie. They stated that it's truly doubled down on the comedy, it's doubled down on the violence, it's doubled down on the action, the story with Cable and Domino and X-Force, and even with Russell and the Fire Fist, that everything is just well done, and it fixes a lot of issues that some people had with the first movie, but really improves upon it and makes the sequel truly better. And there's a couple people that stated they loved it way more than Infinity War, which isn't a bad thing. That only bodes well for the sequel. So with hearing these kind of reports, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I want to go ahead and take into the people who are worried with the Fox acquisition, that they're worried Deadpool might go away or be replaced or whatever. I think Deadpool 2 will prove Deadpool ain't going anywhere. Disney's going to want Deadpool's money. He's going to stick around. While they're going to might change him up slightly where by putting him in some PG-13 movies, I think he's still going to have his R-rated outings, and Deadpool will be fine, people. He's a viable franchise. He ain't going anywhere. Those are my thoughts.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. What are your thoughts there, Op?
Sorry, give me a second.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of agree with you with Neth. It's definitely not a movie that's not going anywhere, and we've seen how this film has affected everything, and it's truly growing something. When they stated about the acquisition, and everything, they're not gonna touch, what isn't broken. They're not gonna mess it up or anything. Why would they? Deadpool has proven just how big and how much appeal it has to such a wide audience, how exponentially successful it is financially. It did it made the first film, I believe, with only like a 30 million or 40 million dollar budget. Like
They're like the lowest budget one ever.
Yeah, like they gave it like 50 million and then cut like another 20 million out of the budget, and they still made the film that damn good. And now they're having a little bit more play with the budget now because of just the success. And if it's something that could be done very low key with not a lot of expenditures for everything, I mean, this is easily a financially successful film that they don't need to touch. They know what they're doing and everything. And it's continuing to push that aspect. They're continuing to grow, and the character has so much appeal. Like Ryan Reynolds is absolutely passionate about this project and this character and everything, and we're getting to see that. We're getting to see what they want to do to grow it, and that's something very rare.
Yeah, he does the character justice, and just hearing you talk and everything, I was kind of having a fantasy in my head where, like, Deadpool for the MCU, you can introduce a lot of the more different, kind of darker characters. I think we can agree to that. And what if, how we always said, like, we want a Deadpool Spider-Man crossover, we want Deadpool this crossover. What if they go like way out of left field and do like a Deadpool Moon Knight crossover or some shit? Like, that would be like the perfect way to introduce Moon Knight, who's such a serious.
Don't
like,
get me started on that one.
Yeah, I know, but he's such a serious and dark character, and with Deadpool's comedy, that would be like an awesome introduction, don't you think? Like, that would be very unique and different, and like, I just feel like his contrast between Deadpool would be hilarious to see on this big screen.
But which one, Moon Knight or
Yeah, Moon Knight and Deadpool, because they were so different characters. Like that shit would be hilarious.
Yeah, but he has another persona now. It's Mr. Spectre, I believe, Mr. Moon Knight. I forget which one it's called. But he's wearing a white suit in this new persona he has.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right, and it would be great to see because with him we do get to see some of the more outlandish characters, and you know, you brought up Moon Knight. You know, they stated they recently, the MCU, I believe Kevin Feige said that they would be interested in wanting to do a Moon Knight movie. I believe you actually posted that in the group, and we all got excited about that because Moon Knight is such one of those characters that is absolutely brutal. We saw how they handled the Punisher in the Netflix series, you know, being able to translate that if they want to do a movie with a character like that. You know, Moon Knight is second to Punisher in brutalities, only with, you know, Ghost Rider being up there because Ghost Rider doesn't hold back either. But having
my God, Ghost Rider the MCU, man, make it happen.
Well, I mean, they already have.
Just please, no more Nicolas Cage. No more of that.
No more Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. Oh, God, no.
Well, actually, we do have Ghost Rider, and y'all.
We do. In the Field.
Yeah,
and he's pretty
Agents
cool,
of Shield. I did like the way that they handle his character because I'm actually watching through season 4 because I fell off for a little while, but been catching up thanks to Netflix. And the way that they handled the Ghost Rider and Agents of Shield, I actually really loved. Like I do too. I wasn't sold on Robbie Reyes because I had very mixed feelings on the new Ghost Rider, especially from the
comics. Did everyone else. Yep.
And I was like, especially from how they were handling him in the comics, you know, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm used to David or Danny Ketch or, you know, Johnny Blaze. I never liked Robbie Reyes, you know, using the Charger as his vehicle, whereas, you know, Danny could spawn that like almost ninja styled motorcycle, but with pure wheels of fire, where Johnny had his old motorcycle and everything. But as I watched through the series, I really liked how they handled him and bringing him into the MCU that way. And the fact of, you know, that when he made the deal, it was the other Ghost Rider. And I'm guessing that we can assume that that was Johnny Blaze who passed it on the Spirit of Vengeance to him, because I've told my roommate, because he was confused about it, I was like, no, Ghost Rider can pass on to more than one person because there always will be a Spirit of Vengeance, and he can make others, because we had Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze at the same time in the Sons of Midnight series.
Yeah, and you know, the MCU, they keep talking about how they want to be different, so like doing more obscure characters like this, that's a perfect way to go about it. And like you got to also tie it to Doctor Strange, who's a more mystical aspect, so like, you know, Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange, stuff like that. That'd be really cool to do.
Absolutely. So, you know, with them already adding in the mysticality of Doctor Strange and really bringing in the more kind of magical aspect of the MCU, really bringing in the supernatural by introducing Ghost Rider and how he's playing had played a part in the Agents of Shield, you know, that really does explain add a lot more depth, because that's how we get some of those other characters, you know. Then we can actually end up having the characters go to hell and find Ghost Rider, as well as this can actually bring in, you know, more of possibly Blade down the line, because, you know, supernatural, he is a big aspect of the supernatural. You know, Blade has always had a big part in that and helping with some of those things that everyone else can't handle necessarily.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is a national treasure. Oh shit, Justin. But
Justin, you know, that would be a joke I would make. So thank you.
The supernatural thing, you know, it'd be funny to see the MCU beat Justice League to making Justice League dark. But anyways, the thing about Ghost Rider and all that, fuck that fucking Justin comment had me still laughing. He's a national treasure. Shit. No. Speaking about Blade, how about that? Do you guys think? I know we want Wesley Snipes back in the Blade thing, but do you think it would be kind of cool to do a almost passing on to the torch story where like maybe Wesley Snipes would play the teacher and there would be like a newer Blade?
Yeah, that's actually
I think we need to do that, right?
Yeah, because we've seen, especially where we are in the MCU right now, you know, we're seeing that a lot of the older original Avengers are wanting to step down. You know, I think the only one who's gonna stay a little bit longer is you know, the actor who plays Black Widow. Black Widow is getting her own movie here.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. My mind blanked, but Scarlett Johansson is the only one who's gonna stay because they're working on her solo movie. And Chris Hemsworth for Thor, he said he might stay a little bit longer, especially after what they did with Thor Ragnarok.
He better, man.
Yeah,
If I
he was
got his
surprised
ass
by that
right,
one.
if
Yeah.
I got him right.
Yeah, they really pumped him up. But Chris
He
Evans
probably
says
was like, "Damn, I'm actually cool. I'm gonna stick
Yeah.
around."
Yeah, but after Avengers 4, Chris Evans says that Cap's gonna retire, and that he may come back for single stories, but nothing like continuous. We know Robert Downey Jr. is gonna retire or take on a different aspect to where he's
A
gonna be
more laid
different.
back aspect.
Yeah, but we all know that they are staying involved, as that they're all going to be producers and help continuing with the vision. But we've stated before is that some of these characters do have to pass on the mantle to other characters. We've discussed either Sam as Falcon or Bucky picking up the mantle of Captain America. Recently they stated that we may possibly see Ironheart in the future. After I think it was Iron Man 3, no, I can't remember which movie where Iron Man is talking. I think no, Civil War, where he was talking about the
MIT?
student, the MIT student that killed when he was talking with the mother and stuff. He can end up hearing rumors about someone at MIT who's strong or really smart, and then it could introduce her because she replicated Iron Man's suit from just looking at it and sheer just thought. And she can pick up the mantle as the new Iron Man and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of different ways that we can see the characters kind of continue on, but with new life into it. And I would love to see Blade passed on to someone new. With Wesley Snipes is already up there in age, and as much as he is still kind
The
of
Blade.
he is the Blade, but it would be proper for him to make a cameo or to be training someone new, and we see that he's training them, instructing them as a teacher aspect, a mentor. But it would definitely have to be one of those moments of they have to pass on that mantle.
Yeah, like who was Blade's teacher during those movies? Like who was that again?
Oh,
was it Van Helsing? What the fuck was it?
no, it wasn't Van.
No, it wasn't Van Helsing. I don't know who the fuck it was.
That's
But anyways, like, what's the snap's gonna take that type of role, and then like it'll be like a newer, younger Blade who would be like the one doing all the shit.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see.
But yeah, I mean, I think that'll be really cool, and the MCU should do some more mystic stuff, and maybe that's what's part of Phase 4. They keep saying Phase 4 so very different. I think that's the way you could be different. Like Doctor Strange feels very different from the rest of the MCU, so I think he's almost a teaser for the Phase 4. And then we could maybe get different characters in the Galactic Universe side of things. Introduce Nova, god damn it, and yeah, that's what they could do.
What are you referring to? Abraham Whistler? What's his name? Abraham something. That's Blade's name.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, Abraham, whatever the fuck. But yeah, just make Wesley Snipes like that type of character.
Yeah, it would be interesting, and I definitely feel like it's something that should be done. But there's a lot of different possibilities because the movie rights for Blade as a character has already reverted back to Marvel. So we do
he's been in the cards.
Yeah,
and Wesley Snipes has been talking to him about what they could do.
Yeah, so we know that he is back, and we do have him. It's just trying to find the right way to bring in that character.
Yeah, and I see some people with the John Boyega fan art, and I don't know about that.
I'm not feeling that. I'm not
feeling it. He looks cool with Blade, but I don't know.
I actually,
for a personality standpoint, I don't see it.
I really dig it. I think that he could really fit the part very well.
I think he'd be almost like too funny for Blade. I don't know. Wesley Snipes just had like the perfect stigma for Blade to me.
I don't know. I think that he could fit the part fairly well, but it is still one of those things that we would have to see.
Yeah, but either way, you're gonna need a lot of charisma to do Blade. Like there's a certain aspect of Blade where you just have to nail down. Wesley Snipes did nail that down, but I brought up the Cosmic Universe stuff and Nova, who I want to see Nova on the big screen already. If they were to do a Nova film, who would you think be heading it? I'm thinking maybe the Thor Ragnarok director could do a Nova type movie. What do you think?
I would say yes. It would have, because with Nova, he is very sarcastic. He is very funny, a little bit self-centered. So I mean, you would need someone who could really fit that. But I mean, as the living rocket, he is something very unique when it comes to the cosmic. So I would definitely see that the Thor Ragnarok director could actually help bring the right amount of funny with the right amount of action for Nova. You know?
Yeah, because like while Thor, like the Thor Ragnarok was a great movie, but it felt like kind of Guardians of the Galaxy ish. That's how Nova should feel because Nova is in that whole space thing. That's who he is as a character.
Yeah.
So I feel like that person. I think why I forgot the director. They could really nail that down.
I definitely agree with that. It is something that could definitely be done ahead of time in that way. You know. What do you think about this, Op?
Well, sad I don't know much about Nova, but it'd be cool to see some more cosmic entities make their way to the big screen as far as Marvel.
Yeah,
So I would like to see.
He's like the Green Lantern, I guess. But you know, Nova's a cool character, and I haven't really read much of his work. But the little things I have read, it's actually pretty good comics. I'll be honest. It depends on who you read. Like I have read, like when it was the kid version of Nova rather than like the adult version that they'll probably use for Marvel.
Yeah, how different are the kid version of Nova and adult version? Because I remember seeing a kid.
I want to Bloodie. We all know you have the museum knowledge. So what would you say
for Nova?
Yeah,
it would
kid and adult version of them.
Yeah, well, there are two different versions, and the main one that I would definitely want to see is I would want to see Richard Rider. I do know about the newer one, but I'm not exactly too sold.
Yeah, he doesn't feel right for the MCU right now. We kind of need that adult character.
Yeah, but I mean, because if they brought him if they used the new kid, and I'm trying to remember what his name is, but you know, if they brought him into the MCU, that would be the MCU's kind of version of Shazam, because when he goes Nova and taps into the Nova Force, you know, he does kind of grow, kind of like how Shazam is when Billy uses that power. You know, it is one of those things, but I don't see that working too well or translating over very well. Richard Rider would probably be the best fit instead of Sam Alexander.
Yeah, I agree. And it'll be kind of cool to see Sam Alexander, who's the kid, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It'll be cool to see if he takes on the mantle later on.
Yeah.
Because that's what they should be setting up.
Yeah, because with Sam, he's a lot smaller. He does get, when he taps into the Nova Force, he does get a little bit bigger, but he's still very small, and they had a custom suit made for him. And I just don't think that while having a child superhero would be great and all, I just don't know if Sam would be the right fit for that. You know, yeah, you could say we have Spider-Man, and yeah, that's true. He's a teenager, but Sam's a little bit younger than the current Peter that we have, and I just don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so used to being Spider-Man being a kid and everything, where maybe it would be kind of cool if Sam Alexander was past the mantle, let's say probably 10 years from now, if they ever do a Nova movie, which I think they are doing. And it'd be kind of cool to see Spider-Man kind of lead up, you know, teaching this kid being on the street level and everything, because if he does end up just being on Earth anyway, which I think Sam Alexander does, it'll be cool if Peter would be kind of like his tutor, since Peter was a kid as a superhero. That would be a cool aspect they could do and show the character development for Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Definitely, because he'll be able to relate better, because he started out as a kid in the superhero business.
Yeah, no, it'll be very different. And they always teamed up that Sam Alexander and Peter Parker in the comics. At least in the cartoons, they did that. So that'll be kind of cool to see happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like Defenders kind of opened up the bridge, get more obscure, outlandish superheroes.
They did.
TVs and movies
they did.
Yeah, because Daredevil kicked it off. Then we got we got after that. What was
Defenders season 2, though, I hear there's some confusion around that, but I don't know much about that.
The first season was all right. It could have
been better.
I really liked the first season.
I enjoyed it a lot, though.
Yeah, I definitely know where they did a lot better with the choreography in that one than what we saw with Iron Fist, and hopefully they turn that around.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Iron Fist had its issues. I'm not going to deny
but that. Bloodie's about to stand up on the table and was like, I like Iron Fist.
No, I did like it, but I know, but I'm not gonna say it was perfect.
Man, you're about to pull up NY from Parks and Rec, but
yeah,
he said he likes Harry.
Calm down there. We're not going Parks and Rec on this. But no, I enjoyed Iron Fist because I do know the potential that he is the immortal living weapon for a reason. But there was a lot of issues in that, I've been critical on that. Part of it was the fact that they didn't take the time to do the proper choreography for it until almost the day before shooting, and everything was being taught as they were doing it, and it just didn't feel right. Whereas you looked at Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, a lot of that was really well rehearsed ahead of time and looked a little bit more authentic. We saw them actually do it a lot better with a lot of the choreography that we saw in the Defenders, and we saw Iron Fist definitely kind of step it up a bit, but a lot of people still don't really understand the character or anything, and they are doing Danny Rand a little bit different. But I think in time that we could really see more. We're starting to see that with the other characters on how they're growing. They just definitely need to take more time with it, because of the fact that it also had all the controversy because people thought they were whitewashing the character when no, the Iron Fist still
that was the dumbest criticism ever.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. But it definitely shows that when you take the time, it helps to improve the credit. And there's our local artist.
About to say, you about to come in here like
got the thumb on the camera. Let's go, man.
Yeah, you might want to mute yourself a little bit there.
I gotta have my identity, man. I'm a superhero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
But speaking about that criticism, the whitewashing, and all that, I gotta give Netflix credit. Oh my god, I gotta mute your mic, bro. But I gotta give Netflix credit to where they can take negative press and they just prove there's no such thing as that. Like, I remember when people were dogging on Iron Fist, they're like, look, motherfucker, this is one of the most binge-watched shows out there, and we're doing a season 2. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
That's what I like about Netflix. They have the balls to stick with their IP.
They do. And they're not afraid to back down, and that's a great thing, because it shows that they want to push forward with stuff that people are just like, no, y'all can't do that. It's just like, just watch us. Watch what we do. We don't care.
Yeah, we're gonna come back stronger than ever, motherfucker.
Yeah. What's the topic right now?
Right now we're talking about
we're just bullshitting.
Yeah, just
Iron Trash.
oh, you had to go there.
Oh, we Iron Fist?
Yeah, he's talking about Iron Fist.
Okay.
That's the reaction of that show. Like, it's not bad, but
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it definitely has potential, but they need a real good fight choreographer.
That's what I was saying right there. Is that it has
that's
potential.
priority.
Yo, guys, real quick. Y'all know Danny better than me. Is this character really that oblivious in the comics, or just a made show?
Hell no. It's just so terrible in that.
That character, the actor in general is the best, honestly. Like, even his Game of Thrones performance is kind of bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just that particular actor.
A little bit of Go so?
Is he in Game of Thrones? I did not notice.
Yeah, Finn Jones. He was
he's Game of Thrones.
He was the Knight of Flowers.
I call him Gaylord, but yeah.
Oh,
he was. Oh, now I remember. Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely how they wrote Danny, because Danny, while being rich and everything like that, he was definitely focused more on his duty as Iron Fist more than anything else. But he wasn't as naive. A little bit in the beginning, but not necessarily so much later on. This one, they're definitely pushing that, but that's also why we haven't seen him in the outfit. He hasn't earned that. He hasn't gotten to that point of why he is the Iron Fist.
I don't know. When I especially when I watched it, he just had like baby, like he acted like a kid with like anger issues. It was just annoying to me, honestly.
Yeah,
but that's who he kind of was.
Yeah, but we're gonna start seeing a little bit more growth, especially when he finds out that the reason he can't tap into the full potential of the Iron Fist is because there's still the old Iron Fist alive, and he has to kill that Iron Fist to take the power to be the true living weapon. That's when we're gonna really start to see the major growth of the character.
You think they're gonna go? You think they're gonna go that route?
That would be the best route for them to take, because that's what they need to do to really expand the character. Because everyone kept mentioning, you're not at your full potential. You don't even realize what you're capable of doing. And the reason that is, at least in the comics, if you want to base it, because we're going to probably see some from there, is that there is another Iron Fist that was still alive that he has to kill and take the full aspect of being the Iron Fist from him, because they both share the heart of the dragon that they have to kill to become the Iron Fist.
Well, we'll see, because they're making a new season, correct?
Yeah, they are doing a second season, but it's going to be a little bit later before we see it. I believe next up, the big one right now is, of course, all
Luke Cage 2.
Luke Cage. Yeah.
Luke Cage.
And that's going to be in July, I believe it was announced.
I just pray they don't do what they did to last season. Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm a little bit the way that that trailer showed off for Luke Cage season 2. I'm so pumped for it. But
that was completely surprised when I seen it. I was like, "Holy shit!" So
yeah, it was way out there. But dude, it has me so pumped for what they're going to be doing in this story. But I had to tell Kaleidoscope when he was talking about who they're showing off. He's just like, dude. He's like, why is everyone named after snakes? I was like, dude, most of Luke Cage's enemies are all have snake code names. I was like, did you not realize that from the first season? I was like, Cottonmouth. Well, I was like, that's a snake. Striker, Diamondback, that's a snake. They're all snakes. And he's just like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. I was like, really? Come on now. But dude,
not gonna lie, I didn't notice that until now either. So.
Oh my god! Well, we already know you're a bit of a fraud. So.
Diamondback flew over my head. Cotton, I was like, what the fuck did Cottonmouth from? Diamondback, maybe, sure. Striker.
No, yeah,
I don't know.
Striker is his real name, but Diamondback is his code name.
Yeah, I just assume it's coincidence. You're trying to go the whole snake route.
Yeah, no, that's all intentional.
Okay.
Bushmaster.
Yeah, Bushmaster. Yep. But that's gonna be something. I'm looking forward to it because of the fact that this one we're gonna see Misty Knight get her metal arm. You know, and we're gonna see a villain that can actually give Power Man himself a run for his money.
I just hope that we see a lot of like good action sequences.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really hope we do.
Yo, Loki, it's probably just me, but Misty Knight, her arm looked like a great prosthetic arm to me when it first showed it.
Yeah,
and also the same.
I thought they was like my theory was I was hoping that she got something from from Iron Man, from Stark's Industry, but
yeah, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but here's my thing about it is that while they're showing off that she has the metal arm now, that we saw that that Luke Cage walked into that building, took on all those dudes and everything, and just kind of brought all of them back to the police department.
Precinct.
Yeah, so that we're gonna kind of see that she's probably gonna get, hey, you're having him do all this. This isn't gonna look good for us if we're having a vigilante or anything like that. And she's either gonna push to say no, he's doing the right thing, or they're gonna be like, no, you gotta leave, and that she's gonna go off and start her own PI business, and that she's gonna reach out to Colleen Wing, and that's gonna lead into Daughters of the Dragon, because that's what I fucking want. I want Daughters of the goddamn Dragon. And if you don't know,
we'll see.
Hold up. I want to wait for a minute. What the fuck are you talking about? Daughters of the Dragon?
Yeah, so in the comics, there's a side series called Daughters of the Dragon where Misty Knight, after having basically left the police force, this is after she lost her arm and got that, she went and started a private eye business, and she actually brought Colleen Wing on with her, and they both go and solve kind of cases together. And they called themselves the Daughters of the Dragon.
Okay.
I want to do it because it's too much like Jessica. So
yeah,
not really. I mean, they could definitely differentiate it, especially with Colleen Wing being more the martial artist. And we saw that connection on how they were building those two characters together during the Defender series. I definitely could see it as a possibility.
Yeah,
I mean,
but we definitely don't need another private eye type. Nah, I don't see it. I can see it being like a little side story in Luke Cage.
It'll be a side story.
Maybe.
But
we already know that.
But
we also know that they're planting the seeds in this season of Luke Cage for the Heroes for Hire, which we already know that they started showing back in Defenders and the Defender series. So we're gonna see some interesting things coming around all the way.
Yeah, and the reason I had to ask you about the whole Dragon Girls or whatever thing was, for a second I thought you might have been talking about preaching bring back Sailor Moon or some shit. It's like, because Bloody Knuckles is that dude out there in the streets with a protest sign to bring back Sailor Moon.
They did bring back Sailor Moon, sir. It's called Sailor Moon Crystal. Don't you hate on my magic girls?
And only you would have known that.
You're goddamn right. I remember watching that with my sisters when I was younger. So don't even go there. Tuxedo Mask is a classy motherfucker.
Oh, Sailor Moon.
Speaking of Jessica Jones,
my stomach hurts. Oh.
Yo, guys, real quick. Did anybody finish Jessica Jones season 2? Because I couldn't.
No, I didn't even start it because you guys said it wasn't that great.
I couldn't finish it.
It was very okay. Jessica Jones is so fucking annoying, and then they added another annoying character, her best friend. They're like, it makes you mad. The show's gonna make you mad.
Everybody got on there.
Neth, yeah, I know, Neth. I was gonna say, look at that. Justin's with me, bro. So you get out of here.
Team Moon.
And Salty is right there behind him. It's the first thing he hears is Sailor Moon.
I was like, I don't know why I keep watching this, but I have to finish it. I just have to.
See, that's the next thing I'm gonna sit through is because I've been trying to catch up on a lot of stuff I'm behind on, and I want to get through season 2 of Jessica Jones because I haven't started. Because
It is.
I didn't have any issues with the first season though, so
the first season's phenomenal.
The first season was dope. It was.
But
it's so illogical. It's like a lot of shit that happens in a season doesn't make sense because there's other ways they could have went about it. You just think it to yourself like they're probably private eyes. Why? What is going on here? Why is everything just turning out so shitty?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it, but I'm taking your word for it now.
Yeah, but we'll figure it all out. But the next thing here.
It's mediocre. I'm not gonna say it's terrible, but it's mediocre.
Don't tell me it's another artist.
And I don't know, Jessica Jones is pretty. I can watch just looking at her face, I guess.
She's not that pretty.
I like her. But the next thing that I want to bring up, and this is a perfect topic right as Salty joined in here because he's a Star Wars fan right now, is that right now there's early reports that Han Solo, the Solo story, may actually be bigger than Black Panther. And let me clarify this: is that there are reports from 3 different cinemas. One being, I believe it's Regal Cinema. We're seeing some from AMC, and Fandango is also reporting is that they're seeing higher pre-sale tickets for this movie by 3 more than Black Panther did. And you got to Black Panther was a worldwide global phenomenon because of what it did. And Solo has had such iffy feelings over the past few months and very little like advertising until just recently in the few weeks coming up to it. And that now we're going to see that it may actually do more. What are y'all's kind of thoughts on that? Neth, I know you have.
I'm about to say, you better make me go first. So,
this is America.
I will say, to do well, I will pull in Mighty Moz and go down with the toilet chunks. I'm not a fan of this bullshit, so I'm gonna go down with the L's that this movie does well.
Oh, so you're
anyway,
so you're gonna.
I'll go down with the L's. That's what I'm gonna say.
Are we talking about Han Solo trash garbageness?
Oh my god! Everyone
I'm gonna go down with the toilet chunks.
Everybody's there for Donald Glover. Let's be real.
Oh,
hey, Donald Glover, he looks phenomenal.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be rated terrible.
Soul's not Soul.
Doing well in those pre-orders.
Yeah, but Soul, you got some strong words there. You want to kind of go in on that?
I think wasn't like there was a rumor like he came in like last minute, the actor that plays Solo and everything like that.
No,
you think of the director.
Yeah, it was the new director because of the fact that back in December when they originally postponed it, is that that Kathleen Kennedy, the current head of Lucasfilms, did not like the direction that the director had made the movie, that they didn't like the cut. It wasn't sitting well with their test screenings or anything. So they got rid of them, brought in a new director, and had to redo some of the script and do a lot of reshoots.
And also I heard that they had to bring in Harrison because the guy couldn't even portray how Solo's supposed to act.
Yeah, they had to reteach him acting or whatever. Like I think he had to go relearn acting.
Wait, what? How we teach him acting?
Yeah, he had to like go back to acting school or some shit. I remember that.
Man, everybody's over Donald Glover.
He couldn't get him down, no matter how much.
Hey, Donald Glover looks like he's doing phenomenal in his role. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
Donald Glover's
That
carrying
part of the
this
movie
movie.
looks great.
Everyone said that Donald Glover's gonna steal the movie.
Yeah, he looks like he would.
Let's be real here. Star Wars is not holding this movie. Donald Glover's carrying the whole movie right now at this point.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's carrying the movie.
It's funny when you see Donald Glover in more of the trailer than Han Solo. It makes no sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fact.
But we're also seeing a lot of Han Solo's mentor, whatever his name, with Woody Harrelson, and I'm kind of digging his character, and I do like Emilia Clarke and kind of want to see who she's supposed to portray, because there is the early reports that she's supposed to be playing Han Solo's wife from the comics, because he kind of got with her like early on in his career and then just up and left, and she had been hunting him for like years. And they showed that in the Star Wars comics recently.
Wait, this motherfucker had 2 wives?
Yes
Low-key.
and no.
Low-key?
Yes.
Low-key.
Yeah. What it was is that
Well, I think I know what her fate is now.
yeah. So what happened in the comics and what they explain is that he did a job way back in the day with her, and that when they were on the escape, that they got separated and he dipped the fuck out, like straight up, and had been dogging her for near decades.
But the reason I'm laughing so much is what you're saying, but also Neverland in the chat.
I
Did
know.
you just see that comment?
Yeah, Neverland always coming in here to troll. That's why I like having Neverland around.
This Star Wars Solo movie hype and marketing looking like State of Decay 2.
Oh, Neverland is like the perfect troll.
Nah.
Yeah, look, Neverland's a perfect troll, and I like having him around. I like Neverland.
Neverland's cool, dude.
Shout out to Neverland.
Yeah,
Cool,
always.
dude.
But
You're about to get
yeah,
that anime too.
yeah, right. He's about to get that. But Salty does bring up a good point. If you've seen the older movies or read any of the books in the comics, is that Solo is a very scummy, selfish dude. Like he didn't
Yeah, he
really
is.
start being better until come Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's really when he made that heartful change. But up until that, he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, well, we could always see that he was an asshole even in the original films. Like that's the vibe he always gave off, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, just a
So
little
it
bit.
makes sense.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and I do kind of like that they're showing the early relationship between Han and Chewie, so that's going to be real good to see.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is if this movie turns out good and if it does well, I'm still gonna pull my moss and go down with the toilet chunks, no matter
Yeah, I'm
what.
still going down with the Titanic if it does good. Yeah. What do you guys think that the average score is going to be for this movie?
I would
80s.
definitely say like if I had to give a definitive, I would say like an 82.
Yeah,
I would give
I
that.
think that's a little too high.
nah, it's gonna be in the 80s.
Justin just said we all know that it should be called a Lando Calrissian story.
Pretty much at this point.
Hey, if they do a Donald Glover like his own movie, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
That's my
I would love to see, but I'm glad that we're gonna see a little bit more Lando.
I'm just so pissed that they didn't let Donald Glover direct the Deadpool animated series.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
yeah, I remember.
Right.
I remember that. Hearing
Yeah,
about
Fox
that.
chick can't.
Yeah, because he had the story and everything, and they threw that straight out the window because I think it was FX who
Yeah, FX.
ended the
He
partnership.
wouldn't have enough time to do it because he's so busy.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude's all
Hey,
over the
Neverland.
place.
To be fair, didn't The Last Jedi have like a good Metacritic, and you still hated that movie? Like it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
But who knows? But I'm kind of salty. I still think that it's Star Wars. I think that if they're now putting it out there, that it got to what tested well with their audiences and stuff, as well as Kathleen Kennedy and the others who are very precarious about what they're doing with Star Wars. I think it's going to do fairly decent. I wouldn't say it'll be a blowout, but I think it'll do well enough.
Man,
I
Neverland's-
just, Dick, I kind of don't really care about I guess, the past of Han Solo. I'd rather see like a alternate story of like somebody like I don't know, like Darth Maul or somebody.
Well, we are knowing that they are doing
Rumors.
no. There have been those, but I do know that recently that was confirmed that we are getting a live action Star Wars series that's coming out on Disney's streaming service come next year when they launch it, and it's actually going to take place between right after Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. It's going to take time during that, and it's going to be some of the first stuff that we're seeing during that time frame from like Rebels and Resistance, the animated series. But it's going to be live action. It's going to have new characters, and it's possible.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope it is too. But I hope that we're going to start seeing some of the early, new coming Jedi that were being taken to possibly be trained and stuff.
Also, I got a question. How old was Han when he met Luke?
What are we gonna do with Luke? They haven't said anything.
How old was Han Solo when he met Luke?
He was, I think he was in his late 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe he was
He
in
was.
his late 30s, and Luke was in his early 20s, probably right around that age. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Wait, hold on, Bloodie. I gotta ask you a quick question. Does Salty Ass Gaming, does he also agree The Last Jedi was a shitty movie?
No, he enjoyed it, but he was clarifying that it got a high Rotten Tomato score from critics, but was heavily disliked by fans.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it, Salty. I thought you were to agree that movie's trash, but oh well.
Oh, hey,
Oh, well.
Salty came on it and was talking about it with us. He said that he really liked it. He was with me on that one.
Yeah, that movie sucks. But okay, we'll move on.
Yeah, but next thing I want to talk about is here's something that not a lot of people here are gonna remember. This is gonna go old school. So Neth, you're already exempt from this because you don't know shit. Does
Muting
anyone
Mike now.
does anyone remember Zoids? Old school mecha.
What the fuck is a Zoid?
Zoid. Wow, Neth, you really do know anything. Zoids was an old anime from way back, probably when we were young. And what it was is there was a kind of a mecha where the Zoids were
Zoids were the shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Zoids.
I had a toy of this thing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the show, but I had the toy.
Yeah.
This thing right here, I had this shit.
Yeah,
Like an older
Zoids.
version, of course, but yeah.
Good. That came out when we were younger.
This show was on Toonami, wasn't it?
It was. And
it was the shit.
Yeah, and I had the Leo as well as I had the Raptor, which was fucking badass because when it turned around, its tail was a giant fucking sniper rifle.
I remember my dad couldn't build the fucking shit, but still.
Yeah. Well, good news is that they're bringing it back and they're creating a new series that's coming out in the summer season in July.
Oh, is it like an anime or is it gonna be on Netflix? How is it gonna work?
It's going to be an anime. It is going to be running. They haven't confirmed what networks are going to. No. I believe it was Sentai Filmworks is going to be doing it. So more than likely, you'll see it on Crunchyroll and a couple others, but not on Funimation or anything like that. But
are we talking about Fist of North Star?
No, Zoids.
Oh, Zoids. Ah.
Yeah.
No, the Zoid. Well, okay, maybe it's just nostalgia for me being a kid and having the toy, but that shit was awesome.
Dude, I loved it back then because that was one of the things that really made my love for mecha. But I was just like, dude, giant robot animals, and I was like, dude, this is dope as hell.
Did they drop like a story summary or anything about it yet?
They have not. They just announced that they were doing a new series.
It's like a better Beast Wars.
Yeah, and they did some early key visuals. I'd have to find it, but they did announce that it was getting a new series and it was going to be coming out in July in the summer season, which is awesome because I loved the shit out of Zoids.
Oh yeah, especially when I was younger.
Yeah,
I remember having the toy. That fucking lion one, the white one, was fucking lit.
Yeah, it really was. Do you know anything about this app? Have you seen it?
If I have, I probably just don't remember it. I didn't watch Toonami that much when I was younger.
I had to.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, I have a legitimate reason.
Hold
Hold on. I have a legitimate reason. My father was cheap as hell when we were younger, so he didn't believe in buying cable for us.
Go outside.
Yep. His exact word, take your ass outside.
Hey,
So
Knuckles,
I missed out on a lot of questions when I was younger.
you want to answer the question there in the chat?
Yeah, I see that. Have I started watching Hinamatsuri Neverland? No, I haven't watched it yet. It is one of the ones that I am wanting to start from the season. I'm working on others. Right now, I'm trying to catch up on Golden Kamui. I just finished catching up on a few others, but that is one that I am looking at wanting to do, as well as start Usume Derby. That's the other
What
one.
what is
For a
that?
second.
What the show they talk about?
Yeah.
Hinamatsuri is called Doll's Day or something like that. But it talks about the daughter of a Yakuza. I remember reading a little bit about it, but I don't have all the information on it. That would be one that Neverland, if you want to tell them what it is, go ahead and type it there in the chat. But there are a lot of big ones, and this is one of those ones that kind of flew under the radar for the spring season of shows. But yeah, but dude, when I saw the reports that they're doing a new Zoids, I got excited because I like some of the key visuals, and if I could pull them up, I will. But Zoids was really cool back in the day, you know, just CGI mecha animals, dude, which is dope as fuck. It really was one of those shows that really did take me back. That I was just like, dude, I'm so for it.
I always thought about that fucking show, and I never knew what show that was from. But damn, it's awesome.
He's just like, dude, I don't know what the hell this is. He's just like, wait, no, I do.
The CG just like the CG that we've been seeing recently in anime has not been good. So hopefully,
yeah, a lot of the CGI from
a recent movie just came out, and I think they did it fairly well. We'll talk about it. You want to talk about it?
Oh, we can say that here for a minute.
All right.
But no, you're right, Souls. There's been quite a few shows that have been bringing up CGI and implementing that, and not all of them have been doing it fairly well. I've always been very iffy when it comes to CGI from shows or an anime, and partly because of the fact is that, like, with the new remake that they're doing of Berserk, they started halfway through the series, starting at the Black Knight.
It hurt my heart so much, man.
Yeah, they started at like partly through the Black Swordsman story arc. You know, they didn't give a lot of preface, and just the 3D animation just looks so off. It does not do justice to the original. Like, there are some that do 3D CGI movies really well, like Gant Zero was fucking phenomenal.
Gant Zero was amazing, bro.
Yes,
like that
Gantz,
shit was so fire.
It was, and Gantz is already a dark, messed up story, and the original anime is great. But what they did with Gant Zero and the animation in that, fucking phenomenal. That was great.
Yeah, if y'all never seen Gant Zero, y'all need to watch it. It's fire.
Yeah, it really is. It really is an amazing movie. It's on Netflix, so you can easily watch it. But Gant Zero is amazing. That has top tier 3D animation, like Space Pirate Harlock.
It's like Final Fantasy Avid Children. It's a perfect CG. It looks amazing. Oh
yeah,
I watched that movie like 2-3 times.
Yeah, Neverland. Watch Gant Zero on Netflix. The animation and the story in it is phenomenal. If you've read the manga and some of the newer ones, you're gonna love it. It really does well. And like my other favorite one is Space Pirate Harlock. If you haven't seen that movie, that's another one that does amazing 3D animation.
I gotta finish that one.
It's so good. I love that one. Like, there are people who do 3D animation that are so great, but like ones that are just iffy to me is like Knights of Sidonia. I know people love Knights of Sidonia. I dig the story. I can't get past the animation. It's so off-putting for me.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I hate that the way it looks.
Yeah, if they did flat 2D or didn't do like that 2.5 where it's like 2D at some points and then transitions into 3D, I would be more for it. It's either has to be one or the other.
Yeah.
That's my big issue about Knights of Sidonia. Well, I dig the story. It's just the animation just kills it for me. So I'd rather, if it was, you know, a manga or something, I would rather read that. But, you know, there are some that do 3D animations fairly well. We see that in a lot of, you know, some action and some shonens, but more a lot of and mechas. And recently we saw that kind of brought back with Gundam a little bit.
And question: Zoid's coming to Netflix, right? Correct.
It hasn't been confirmed for Netflix, but it was picked up by Sentai Filmworks, so we're gonna kind of see where that goes.
Okay.
So once they actually report where it's gonna say, we'll make that announcement. But I'm just excited to see the new Zoids. They do look cool, and I do like the new redesign from the early visuals. So we are gonna, so I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that. And quick thing to make quick point is that today is May 12th. So for those who don't know, it is Mob's birthday, and that's the main character of Mob Psycho 100. And they did release a new key visual, getting ready to make the announcement for season 2 sometime here in the next few months. Because we
Yeah, they
do
need to
know
hurry
that,
up.
yeah, they did say that season 2 was going to premiere sometime this year. So we'll expect it more in the fall to winter season. And we're still waiting for One Punch Man. So get on it. Just waiting for that OPM announcement. They keep teasing it, and they keep making new actors who are going to be playing characters. Like, look, just give us the announcement already. That's all I want.
Yeah, all they need to do is just drop the trailer, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. If we had a trailer, I'd be set. But
I'll probably start the manga later on.
Yeah, I want to.
Do.
You know, the funniest thing you need to do is read the original One Piece manga. The creator one, he cannot draw for shit.
Oh, absolutely.
I
love. Yeah, he originally did it as like a webcomic, and they were like short aspects, but dude, one could not draw, and I think that's kind of why Saitama's face was the way it was, is that he really couldn't draw faces, and he just wanted to make the character very bland. But he did improve over the time, and he did help out on some of the newer animation. But you know, for when they released the anime, he did have someone that he trusted to come in and do the animation and help out with it before they sent it over to what was it? I can't think of the studio.
It's not Studio Parent. It's what is it?
For what? One Punch?
Yeah. And I know who it is.
Madhouse did the first one.
Yeah, Madhouse. That's what I was like, it's House, but but Madhouse did the animation, but he did bring in a friend that he did to help him continue with the manga and the web comic and everything before they transitioned over to full, chapters and doing that. But it's been really good on the progress that they're making. Just hopefully we can see more soon. Neth, I know you and Op recently watched this and kind of want to talk about it, even though after I told your ass about it from the get-go.
Yeah, we took the L on that.
Yeah, you did. But go ahead and talk about it.
But how about you take the lead, because you were the initial guy who watched it and was saying certain things.
Yeah. So
well,
this is what happens when y'all don't listen.
My main critiques is not with the sub, it's the dub version of Batman Ninja.
Exactly what I told y'all. Now, what we're talking about is the Batman Ninja movie that came out. While the animation and what they did with the story is fantastic, I did warn them ahead of time because I paid attention, is that both versions of the movie are significantly different, because where this movie shines is that it was done, Warner Brothers approached an all Japanese development studio to do the animation, do the story of it. And when you think about that, is that the Japanese work opposite of what we do. They focus on storyboards, visuals, and animation. Then they go and write the story and do the art. So they were thinking about how they wanted it to look before they did the writing. Whereas in America, in the West, they write the script first, then do the animation.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they had two very separate ideas in the way that the story was going. So you had in the English dub, which is the story that was translated over here for Warner Brothers, and then you have the story that was done in Japanese, which is what the development studio is working for. I tried to tell these guys over here that they're two separate stories, because while they do have certain aspects where they tie together, they're 90% fairly different, because of the fact that they have different ways that they did it, and they didn't listen. They just looked on past, and they started complaining. They said, "Yo, whoever said this movie was great is full of shit." And then I was like, "You watched the English, didn't you?"
That's what happened.
I'm not gonna lie. When all the mechas came out, I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
Did you watch anything Japanese, or just watch it the way it's supposed to be watched in subtitles.
Well, to be fair, like I'm a guy, I watch a lot of English dub animes, and like most of the time it's fine.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most of the time,
Why?
I don't have a problem. I mean, there's some cases where English dub is fucking dog shit. Like I don't like the My Hero dub much, but
Yeah.
a lot of the time it's watchable.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where I find that.
Was fine dubbed.
I mean, if you watch Assassination Classroom, the English dub of that is fantastic.
I never watched any Japanese or anime in dub ever.
No, I've watched both. I grew up, with some of the dubs over here, and there are some dubs that are fucking phenomenal. But
I think the Naruto dub is better than the sub, honestly.
It low-key is.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Believe it.
Well, yeah, he only does that for like the first 20 episodes, but yeah. The thing is, like, I gotta say, like, while it's the same film, obviously, like the same stuff happens. It's the cheesy lines they do in the English dub and the way they kind of just talk. Like the voice actors aren't putting their 100% into it. The lines are cheesy.
Jamie was the worst.
The lip sync is so fucking off. It bugs me. Like it was just a bad experience watching in the English dub. And I'm like, this movie just feels rushed. It just doesn't feel right. But then I literally
the dub version was rushed for damn sure.
It was rushed. Yeah. And then as soon as because backstory, I watched this on Amazon. Like I rented it from Amazon Prime, and as soon as the movie ends, it just starts back up again in Japanese. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna give the Japanese version a try. I'm not doing shit anyways. And I just started watching the Japanese version, and the movie flows so much better. The lines aren't cheesy. It makes sense. And I fucking love the movie. I'm like, no wonder this movie got a 9 out of 10. They watched the Japanese version, the true version of the film. Like, I remember certain lines were just added in the English dub version, which were dumb. Like, Catwoman at the end of the movie, this isn't spoiling or anything, she sells something at a pawn shop. And she's like, what do you think I would leave empty-handed? In the Japanese version, she just doesn't add that line. So the scene actually kind of works better because the line was sort of cheesy. And then another part is when she fights Harley Quinn, she's like, it's time for girl-on-girl action or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And then the Japanese version...
X out of the movie.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, they just said, I'm your opponent. Like, the Japanese version just flows better and it makes more sense. And the movie's much better for it.
My biggest issue for me is when it busts all the mechs out towards the end of it. I was like, what the hell they're doing now?
Yeah, but when you watch in Japanese, like, the lines are so much better. Because remember when Two-Face turns around and he's like, your luck has run out? He doesn't even say that in the Japanese version. Like, he says something really fucking cool. You're like, oh, shit. Like, trust me, you can just watch the movie in Japanese.
The only problem I had with the movie was just like some of the CG. That was it. Like I said.
Yeah, some of the CG can look bad, but a lot of the time it works. Like, they make it work.
I hate the way Gorilla Grodd. Oh my god, so bad.
I got used to it.
I just hated it so much.
Nah, Damien was the worst. Him and Monkey Cheese. That was the most annoying segment.
Oh yeah, no, that shit go straight to hell.
That Monkey has a message. What you know? Just tell him message already.
That ain't no Damian Wayne. That's not my Damian Wayne.
I understand why he thinks that way because he's basically if in like the real world, like the other, like like the real world, he is actually a ninja and he does this like on a daily basis. So they had to change him up. I guess they made it like a polar opposite of what he actually was. It's weirdo.
Yeah, that just felt too much like little anime schoolboy or some shit. It didn't work for Damian Wayne. Like if that was Dick Grayson Robin, I would have been fine with it. But that's just not Damian Wayne.
What really messed me up was the haircut. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that haircut looked weird. But overall, I did like the way they reinvented the characters and the Japanese aesthetic. Like I think Nightwing and everyone looked really fucking cool. The Red Hood was actually. It was unique the way they did it. It doesn't look better, but it was kind of unique with the way they drew him and all that. And like, I love they got his brutality fucking perfect in this movie. Like him and his Joker scene, holy shit.
Yeah, I like how they actually introduced the ancient Bat Clan into the movie.
Yeah, that shit in the English dub felt so awkward and rushed, but in the Japanese it made sense.
Yeah.
Because you read the comics, there's like even in the past there was two clans. There was a Bat Clan, and I think there was another clan too.
Probably Owl, right?
Yeah, I think it was Owl. Yeah, Owl.
Because of Night Owls and all that. So yeah, that makes sense.
and they used to always go to war and stuff like that. And like that makes sense. I was like, okay. I was like, they trying to put a little bit of comics.
Yeah, because I think me and you were agreeing because we watched the English dub originally, so we had similar thoughts. We said this movie was a little too ambitious. They should have made it a miniseries instead of a movie because it felt rushed. It didn't flow well. But then when you watch it in Japanese, you realize, wow, this is how the movie's intended to be watched, and it actually flows well and makes sense. Like the hour and a half flies by in the Japanese version.
Yeah, I'll definitely get our shot at Japanese version, but the English dub go burn in hell somewhere. I can't.
Like the movie just feels wrong in English dub. I guess that's how I have to say it.
It does. And you know, it's one of those things that I tried to warn you about, but whenever I speak and pull out that information, everyone's just like, oh shit, yeah.
I just forgot.
Pulling out the encyclopedia, everyone dip. And this is why you two be catching L's all the time.
Yeah.
Nah, the English don't catch the L.
Yeah, so y'all got that self-inflicted one. I was like, I got the receipt somewhere. I told y'all, and y'all just skipped over it.
Yeah, because like shit, when I rented it from Amazon, I was like, "Is this a 3-hour fucking movie? What?"
Yeah, I was so confused. You kids told me, I'm like, "What? Hold on, was I?"
Yeah, it says like 2 hours and 50 minutes. Like, what the fuck? And then realized it's just both of the movies in one rental.
And what's funny is that when he showed the picture, it even says double feature Japanese and English, and I'm just like,
oh,
yeah. This man plays himself all the time.
But like honestly, I've watched every other DC anime movies in English anyway, so that's why I was like, all right, I'm sure it'll be fine.
I understand why you didn't do it, but like,
typically you would trust the English versions because of the way that they're done. But this
this was just terrible though.
Yeah, because of the fact that, like I said, they outsourced it and had an actual Japanese studio do an actual Japanese story with it, but they had 2 separate scripts written because of the way that they do things differently.
Yeah, and I gotta say,
are you guys gonna watch the Death of Superman when it comes out?
Yeah, of course. I love all those movies.
I am absolutely going to watch Death of Superman. But since Neverland brought it up, and it is the perfect segue into what we're talking about. YuYu Hakusho.
Oh yeah, that shit's coming back.
Yeah. 25 years old, and they are doing a special 4-set box set, with each set being one of the story arcs. So they have the first box set, which is going to follow the start of the detective series. The second box set is going to follow the Dark Tournament. We're going to see the third box set, which is going to follow, what was it for the third set? But as each set's going to follow a different story arc. But the big thing was that they are doing something absolutely special with this box set. Is that with the 4th box set that comes out, I believe it is in August, it's going to be in November. What they're doing is that they're actually bringing back the entire original animation team, the original director, all the old voice actors, to do a special 2-episode OVA based on the 2-shot story arc that came out in the manga way back in the 90s. So they're doing 2 more episodes to kind of give a little bit more for YuYu Hakusho for its 25th anniversary. And when I heard that news, dude, I got so damn excited because this show is as old as I am. It came out the same year I was born, and you know, everything else. Like I grew up with this series when it finally came over to the West, and one of the biggest things that really got me into the series, because everyone hated on the boy Kuwabara, but he showed off why he was top, man. But I'm glad to see that they're doing something special with those 2-shot chapters, and that we're getting just a little bit more, even if they're just OVAs, you know. But the fact that they're doing them on such a special anniversary for the series and the history that it has is truly something special for it. So what are y'all's thoughts on it? Did anyone else watch this growing up? Did anyone else remember it?
I think everybody had to see this. They had to. Opening music scenes of all time.
Yeah, some of the best openings. And come on, what this series did with the Dark Tournament
this even even put Hunter x Hunter to a new level too, because the
Yeah.
guy who made YuYu Hakusho made Hunter x Hunter. And then the funny thing about it, I don't know if a lot of you guys know that the creator of Hunter x Hunter, YuYu Hakusho, is married to the lady who makes Sailor Moon.
Yep. Yes, I do. I actually do know that. And it's what he actually and what he did with the Dark Tournament is what actually set the stage, and probably the biggest aspect that people have been chasing years for when it comes
Best
to
tournament
shonen
arc.
is that the tournament
tournament.
arc. Yeah, that tournament arc in most shonen has been chasing what the Dark Tournament did way back in the day. Like, this is what set the stage for what it means to have a great tournament arc in a shonen. And if you haven't seen this, it really does have one of the best fights with Urameshi and what was his name? The guy with the sunglasses that he went up against.
I forgot his name. What?
It's slipped my mind, but that was probably one of the best fights.
He used to shoot bullet singers. He's the special move, the bullet singers.
Yeah, but no, not him. The really big swole dude who kept getting bigger.
You see his veins going through his body. And
yeah, that's the one. Why can't I think of his name right now? But that was probably literally one of the best fights in a tournament arc. And then,
Takaro.
Yeah, Takaro. Yeah, there it is. And what's even better is that even though that, you know, Urameshi wasn't the one to really shine through, we got to see the other characters really grow. Like I said, Kuwabara really showed off in the story arc, and a lot of people clowned him like everyone clowns Yamcha in DBZ, but Kuwabara proved why he's top. Like, he really showed off his strength. Like, this tournament arc is really what set the stage for shonens, and we saw that step up when he did Hunter x Hunter years later, but not the 90s version, because that one was kind of shit. We're talking about the new turnaround with what he's redoing with it now. But like,
I'm sorry, this might be off track, but have you ever played YuYu Hakusho Forever on PlayStation 2?
No, I did not have it for the PS2.
Oh, man. That's what made me really love YuYu Hakusho, because that video game was so fire, man.
Yeah, what made me love, man, just I was so entranced with that. Like, the last game I remember was playing was Dot Hack Root.
Oh yeah,
on the PS2, because I love the Dot Hack series. That one was another one that really got me. But YuYu Hakusho has such a legacy, and the fact that they're doing such a big box set, like, this is one of those like Blu-ray box sets that I'm absolutely going to buy, because this has such an impact on my love for anime. It really was one of those ones that set the stage for me and really had me entranced. And so we've gone into depths about, you know, a lot of things, especially when we talk about shonens and stuff, and what certain shows left for it. And with this one, it really set the stage for certain tropes, like with the tournament art. Neth, do you remember seeing this much when you were younger?
YuYu Hakusho?
Yeah.
You know I'm a fraud, so why you ask that?
Oh no!
Yeah.
I know about the show and everything, but I never actually got a chance to watch it. And
I think you gotta watch it on Crunchyroll. It got every episode.
I think I have season 1 on Xbox, because it was like free.
Yeah, no. They believe they gave the first season, which was like the first story arc, which was the detective story arc, which was 26 episodes, I believe. But I believe they had the full series on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's either Netflix or Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I know one of those have it, but yeah, dude, like, I'm absolutely getting these box sets because, one, I want the Blu-rays, and two, I just love YuYu Hakusho. Like, I would actually go back and try and like buy the full box set of all the mangas to have if I could. Like, this is one of those ones. And we're not even gonna bring you up in this one because
wait, hold on. I have something to add to this. Actually, I have something to add.
Oh, you actually got something.
Man with no plan. Shit, he has a plan.
Yeah, there you go.
Best opening.
Yeah.
The best opening.
All right, that's all I got. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, but quick question. So, like you said, they're bringing back the set. Is this like straight up remastered, or is it just a Blu-ray?
No, they are keeping a lot of the original, but I believe that they are touching up certain aspects, but they are still leaving it the way it is. I believe that they're just going to kind of make small touch-ups from the article that I was reading but for the most part, they are leaving everything intact as it was. They're not gonna
Well,
try and make any changes.
Are they bringing back the show though, or is it just this?
No, it's for its 25-year anniversary. They are just
Yeah.
doing these 2 original OVAs with the box set.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no
You know,
no
you
new
know
season.
how
Then.
good YuYu Hakusho opening was? They made 2 versions. They made the English version and the Japanese version. Oh my gosh, it was fire. I got that downloaded on my phone. Oh my gosh.
There's no if he's just mesmerizing over this anime.
About to say when you get Soul King's like nerd side going, like he just transforms, man.
Exactly.
Because
Totally
me
you,
and
man.
Soul get it, man. Me and Soul get it.
I
I think out of the whole panel, I think the one's
That's
most
one of the
passionate is
greatest
me and
animes of
Soul.
all time. Everybody needs to watch it.
Yeah, dude, it was literally that theme song was probably like the one that got you hyped way back in the day. Like it was literally one of the best theme songs.
What's you even about anyway?
It talks about a middle school delinquent named Yusuke Urameshi who one day sacrifices himself. He jumps in front of a car to save a kid,
Yeah.
and he ends up dying. And when he goes to the spirit world, they say you weren't supposed to die, and you know you did something right. So we're gonna bring you back to life, but we want you to be a spirit detective. So it kind of follows him, taking on these supernatural aspects between, life and what's going on in the demon realm. It really
Like,
is
Okay.
a badass.
Basically, Bleach was almost influenced by this thing entirely.
Yeah.
Okay. Good,
So
good.
Actually, I think it was Bleach was almost influenced by this thing in probably like 80% because the thing about Yusuke, then he even has a demon form.
Yep.
Like, it's
Yo. So I'm gonna stop you right there because the fact that they gotta watch it. I know where you're going with it because yeah.
I know that sword because the Cell games we get that.
No. You don't know what he's talking about. And,
no,
that's why,
sword, something else.
Yeah. I'm stopping him right there because I've gone in about this with people and they're like, bro, I haven't seen it. I'm just like, oh well, shit.
Oh, you pulling off and spoiling shit? Okay.
No, this was with friends who I got excited about and talked to with, but I'm gonna stop him from ruining it for y'all because it is something you have to watch.
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire.
And the animation actually is one of those ones that hold up, and the story and the dub and everything is still very solid. It's not one of those ones that you see years later and just like, man, this is cheesy as hell. I mean, it has some aspects, but for the most part, it still holds up through time. And when I saw that, dude, like, I posted that in our chat, and I got so hyped about it when I sent it to you. Me and you were just going off on it.
Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna grab it. I'm definitely about to go grab that.
Yeah, Neverland. I feel you on reading Tokyo Ghoul Re. It really does take a lot through. But however, I am loving the new season. It is really good.
Tokyo Ghoul Re, it puts me in my feelings, man. The music is so good.
Oh, the anime. Oh my god, the anime is so good. I love I love how they're kind of fixing where they fucked up with Route A, and they're kind of going back to the comic or the manga, but they are still keeping it, a little bit original, but they do it so better. But this one is significantly
It's so good.
Yeah, it really, dude. Episode 2, when he goes back to the cafe. Oh, my eyes.
Yeah, I was in there. I had the chills. I was like, "Don't do this to me. We can't do this right now."
Yeah.
The music in it, the opening is God. Like the ending is God. Like the music in the
the ending. I love listening to the ending. It's so fun. I love it.
You know what? For whatever reason, I always mix up YuYu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh, Rurouni Kenshin. Samurai
I always
X.
mix up those shows. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Samurai X is something totally different, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why. There's just the two shows always look similar to me.
But Neverland, the Tokyo Ghoul Re series that's currently going on is significantly easier to get through because I do agree that reading the manga, I mean, you have to be like die hard, but there are some chapters that just so drug out that it really is hard to get through. I can understand where you're feeling that one. But like I said, the new season is really doing a great job of fixing where they fucked up, as well as going to the manga, but doing it in a much easier way to get through. I believe they're on episode 6 or 7 right now. But I digress. Now, for our last thing was something I actually brought up a while back, and I wanted to talk about this because they did make this new announcement. Is that a couple weeks ago I talked about a brand new anime movie that's coming out after the big success of like Your Name and A Silent Voice. I brought up the announcement for an anime movie that took me by surprise because the name was not what I thought it was, and it's called I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
I can go for that name. I
Yeah.
still
What
can't.
the?
Now,
Yeah,
now, when I read that, I had the same reaction. So was, what the hell is this? And when I read kind of what the story's about, it's actually a major like translation thing and a major misnomer because the story is about a student who finds one of his classmates has been acting weird, and he finds a medical journal to find out that she has a terminal illness that's affecting her pancreas and that she only has a few months to live. So he kind of takes it on himself to try and make those last few months significantly better. But the story follows the fact of when you know someone who's going through that terminal phase, you know, they want acceptance of stuff. Do you treat every day like normal? Do you know, try to not make them feel like
I
everything that
remember
they're
you
doing?
talking about this one day. I
Yeah.
think I do remember you
and
talking about
and
this one day.
and or do you know, you try to make things extravagant, you know, try to let them do everything that they want to, but kind of know why it's being done. And when I made the announcement for this, is that they actually stated, what, Neth, get out of here with that shit.
Listening to Bloodie
Oh,
explain this.
Yeah, but they when I was reading recently, is that they actually announced that this is going to be one of the few animated movies that's actually going to be shown in theaters, and they're actually going to do a big theatrical run for this series, just like we've seen with a few big ones. You know, Your Name was one of those big ones, as well as A Silent Voice, which I have talked at open lengths about. And you actually saw one of those recently and just realized just how good they were, and so I know you have too, as well as Super G. But I think this is one of those ones that does handle, you know, just like A Silent Voice, that handles such a real topic in a very realistic way, and in such a way that really humanizes it. And I think that, you know, like I said back then, is that we're really starting to see that anime is kind of bridging that gap. It's not just, you know, all action, it's not all anime titties and stuff like that, but they can tell very real and heartfelt stories and mature stories in ways that, you know, not everyone else can handle with live action. You know, knowing the fact that it's coming out in theaters, you know, does it interest you? Would you be willing to see this movie and something like that?
I definitely probably wouldn't go see it in theater, but I'll probably check it out when like it comes to like DVD or like Hulu or Crunchyroll. But I gotta give respect to it because clearly if it's coming to theaters, it has an audience, so that tells you off the bat.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. It is probably one of those ones that will garner an audience because we've seen, you know, they've done like theatrical runs for like some animated movies. Like I know they just recently did one for the Bungo Stray Dogs film that I unfortunately didn't get to because they weren't showing it in my city, assholes. And a few other ones, but you know, this one is really trying to push for a large theatrical run. So I think that's very interesting. What do you think about this, man?
I hope it does well in theaters. You won't catch me in theaters to watch this movie. I'll probably do what Soul do, just catch it on Blu-ray or Hulu on streaming sites. But I'm definitely interested.
Y'all just don't want to be seen crying in public.
It's not that you don't catch any movie. Yeah, I want to see. I want your pancreas. So I'm like, I'm like, what the fuck is this dude watching? Like, nah.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and just skip over me because you already saw the GIF I pulled out. There's no more discussion over there.
Yeah.
I'll support it. It's just not in theaters.
I hope the movie does well, but I don't know about me.
Mister, I'm only going for DBZ.
Oh man.
Hey, that's another English dub that's better than the Japanese sub. Get at me.
I'm used to the Japanese sub though. No,
hey, no. The Dragon Ball dub is way better.
All right.
Yeah, once I get too cheesy, I can't.
Do I have to pull up the black scene in English?
No.
I will pull up the black scene in English.
Black Goku is racist.
Yeah, because Yeah, it's just like, die, you murderer! Wait, he's not black.
Yeah, one of them is black. I mean, one of them is racist. I forgot who it was. Who said it? It was one of the regular civilians. He's racist.
Yeah.
Racist. that dub is way too self-aware. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
we're probably gonna be closing out. But before we do that, I gotta share my screen because I was supposed to do this earlier and I spaced it out. But when I talk about Venom and bring him to the MCU, I do not mean this abomination right fucking here.
No, that's what you want.
Do not do this.
Venom. Yeah, that's your Venom.
Do
you
not
want that?
do this.
No, yes,
No,
that's your Venom.
Fuck that.
No, he wants that Spider-Man Venom. There you go. That's right there for you.
That was
Yep.
come back.
Look at that. That's you. Yeah.
You don't like Tom Hardy, so that's the one you're gonna get.
No.
That's what you go get right there. Right
Yeah,
there.
guys, not gonna lie. Whenever I see Tom Hardy as Venom, I get like flashbacks to the philosophical Bane we got in Dark Knight Rises. So I'm gonna think we'll get like a Venom.
No, Tom Hardy will do the character justice. Like I think a little bit we did see in Venom, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
But when Neth says that's not my Venom, that's what he wants. He wants Topher Grace back. Bring him back.
I don't want the sex suit Venom.
No, yeah, he wants that Spider-Man Venom right there.
Fun fact, the reason why Venom, the black suit Spider-Man looked different in the movie, like he just was literally the spider suit just black, is because they thought like the actual black Spider-Man suit from the comics looked too much like a sex suit. That's why they did it that way.
Yeah. But also the reason Venom was so trash in the movie is because Sam Raimi hated it.
Yeah, like you know how the classic one has like a big white logo and it's a lot smoother. Yeah, they didn't think that because it looked too much like a leather,
Gimp suit.
Yeah, so that's why they didn't do it in the theaters.
Nobody's thinking like that. That's so weird.
Yeah, but that's the actual reason. I looked it up.
They're just weird.
That's the actual reason, but it's still weird. Nobody's oh, look at that sexy outfit. It looks like
it was really dumb because the original black suit looks way better than what they did in the theaters.
Yep. But that's what we got. So that's what Neth wants. He wants that back.
Favorite Venom.
Yeah.
Favorite Venom.
Yeah, but
wait, hold on, Bloodie. Did you see that thing in the chat, Monster Hunter? You know anything about that?
For the Switch or the movie?
HBO was oh yeah. Oh, thanks for bringing that up, Justin.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that.
No, Mila Jovovich, who did the Resident Evil movies, her and her husband are actually wanting to do a Monster Hunter film series, I believe on HBO, or it was a TV show. And they stated that the reason that it works is that one, because of the fact that in Monster Hunter there's not a main character because it's kind of fantasy fulfillment. The main character can be whatever you want, and it doesn't really have a plot. It's just hunting monsters, making cool stuff, and kind of going there. Like there is some lore to the history of Monster Hunter that there's a lot of, but it is one of those things. And if you look at the old world, he was mentioning that. And the older games and the old world, because in Monster Hunter World it's called the New World, but there's deserts all around, and they have these boats that kind of swim through sand, not water. So he said that there's so much very unique fantasy to this, and kind of wanting to do that he actually found that this would be the perfect fit to do another video game adaptation movie with Mila Jovovich with his wife, and wanted to do something because where they did Resident Evil, they try to fit in a new character. It did work as a separate story, and the way that they changed the series, because while they did kind of use a lot of from the games and stuff, they did kind of create their own thing, and it did work in certain aspects. And that story, where this one doesn't have a story as it is, so it's easier for them to transition and be able to create something unique. I was actually reading that, and I thought that was actually a really cool thing for them to do. And I really enjoyed the Resident Evil films. I really did. And hearing about that, I was just like, yo, that's a really cool idea for a live action. So
yeah, I think it'd be more sci-fi if it was an anime instead of a movie.
You think
I would prefer Monster Hunter to be a anime, but I think that's dope. I think that'd be something that actually brought in more people into looking at Japanese films and or games or anime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and with Monster
absolutely.
Hunter, it's so unique because of the fact that, like I said, it is a fantasy for wish fulfillment. You get to
Monster Hunter could be like the new Jurassic Park if they really wanted it to be. They're being real with you.
That's dead. That's dead serious.
Yeah, because the fact that they have so many unique monsters that they have over the years, like in Monster Hunter World, we only have 22, whereas I believe eight of them are unique and brand new to the game, whereas some were older and they're slowly introducing more. There's still some older loved monsters that aren't in the game that people want to see, and that's something that they definitely have such a wide range to do and to build upon,
Yeah, and if Jurassic Park can become such a big IP, the Monster Hunter can do the same exact thing. Because let's be real, while the first Jurassic Park movie is phenomenal, the other ones just kind of fall short. I mean, I think you guys can agree to that, right? The other ones fall short compared to the original.
Look, Jurassic World was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the original movie.
It's not going nowhere close to the originals, honestly.
The original movie was phenomenal. I didn't like the
say
second
that-
movie.
hey,
I didn't like
say
the
that
third
to them.
movie.
Say that to them numbers, man.
The numbers is just held up by how many people saw the first.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because that's not fair. That's straight up nostalgia and bringing in like a bigger audience. The first movie was a brand new IP at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is.
But I still like Jurassic World. It's still a decent movie.
Oh, that's what you're talking about, Justin. Is that okay? I know what you're talking about now. I have to look into that a little bit more before I.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was talking about that. Okay.
Yeah. He's
I
talking
thought
about
maybe it was Monster Hunter World, so that's why I went with you. But okay.
yeah, because I was reading that earlier is that they were wanting to do a Monster Hunter series, but he's talking about the anime, and I know exactly which one he's talking about.
Yeah, I know about the anime.
I'll bring that one up next week when I look into it a little bit more. But I'll definitely I know what you're talking about now, Justin. But yeah, definitely a lot of big things going on. And before we close out, there's one thing I want to sign off on because I posted this in the group chat. No one said anything, probably because of the fact that they're all a bunch of losers who don't love the 80s.
Leave the chat on mute.
Yeah. But Bill and Ted have finally officially been confirmed for the third film. Keanu Reeves and Chris Winters did sign on for it. They do have a script. They're going to talk about them in their mid-30s, that they're still haven't found the song that'll save the world. So they're trying to go on one more excellent adventure to try and find that one perfect song. Bill and Ted, bro. Come on.
What?
Why are we covering this?
Wow.
This movie's out of time.
Yeah, about to say, no, we're not covering this. Let's go.
No. See, you see this, man? They all frauds.
John Wick 3. I don't want to see him in any.
Yeah, fuck that. John Wick 3. Let's go.
No. We're talking about. You know what? I'm gonna bring Moss on, and we and him will talk about Bill and Ted. Y'all get out of here.
Yeah, but he's gonna pull a Crab Gamer, do his own side show with one dude, and then that's how we'll get the new movies. That's what's gonna happen.
Because at least he's not a fraud. He watched Bill and Ted and Karate Kid, unlike you, Neth. God damn it.
Hey, man. This topic is
No. Mr. doesn't even know Mr. Miyagi or Danny LaRusso wax on, wax off, fake mother.
Hey, I admitted that on the show, though.
Yeah.
In the karate episode, I admitted that. That was a fantastic show. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Neverland. Salty is Gaming. I think I'm missing someone.
Yeah, no, that's who we had here. Charity came in for a little bit. I don't know if they're still here, but if you're there, Charity, thank you. But yeah, Neverland, thank you for always coming in, trolling in, and being able to get hype whenever we go in on some of the stuff. Justin, thank you for being such a great fan and sport. But we'll definitely talk about that one specifically next week, and we'll have a bit more. But thank you guys for joining us. So we'll be out. So take care, everyone.